Hello, my name is Torin, and I believe you're watching my YouTube video. Okay, Torin, what's your last name? I don't know. Hi, I'm Torin, and welcome to Torin Loves the Simpsons. Today we're finishing off Season 2 with Episode 22, Blood Feud, an episode where Homer forces Bart to donate blood to save Mr. Burns, who responds by sending a thank you letter, and Homer, enraged by the gesture, replies with an insulting letter, and TLDR, that letter results in a gift in the head of Extapolapaketl. Let's dive in. Let's start with the humor. If this episode were like 10 to 15 episodes earlier, it'd be getting bonus points for pioneering a comedic style that weaves jokes and moments of absurdity into the plot. But we've recently seen some episodes that have kinda reset the standards, so this episode actually has to achieve of its own merit. And achieve it most certainly does. Okay, so I'll start off with a quick roundup of my favorite jokes. I love Lisa's vocabulary lessons for Maggie. First of all, just because she says some funny sounding words in some hilariously exaggerated ways, but also for the way the gag progresses and calls back to itself across the episode. First it's the Zebu with its hump and dewlap, then it's the dodecahedron, and finally Olmec, but also for how it characterizes Lisa. It's nice to see this side of her, where she's wholesome and generously concerned about Maggie's development and future. We see many sides of Lisa throughout the series, as with most characters, particularly main characters. And when we see a sinister side to her, such as in Season 6's Lisa's rival, it's so important for us to have seen this side of her to put it into perspective how threatened she must feel to be driven to sabotage Allison's diorama. Which I don't mean as a defense of Lisa's actions, just as a commentary of how interesting of a TV plot it makes. I try not to laugh at Homer strangling Bart, but I gotta admit that "I'll show you mad in the morning" is a pretty hilarious line. Smithers playing the banjo is an absolute delight. And as a part-time professional banjoist myself, I'm quite impressed with Smithers' skills, and I wonder where he finds the time to practice enough to keep those skills up. And I wouldn't mind if he could maybe give a little advice on where to find that time, just saying. And of course, the classic post office scene. I want to call that one a certified S-tier moment, and it's damn close, but it's not quite there. But it's great, and forever one of the more memorable jokes in the series, probably due in significant part to its inclusion in the Homer Gets Stupider Every Year clip montage in the 138th episode spectacular. But okay, initial roundup complete. And one thing I noticed about a lot of jokes, not necessarily a lot of the ones I just rounded up, but a lot of the ones in the episode, is that this episode was really into building jokes around the timing of the delivery. Stuff like, "I promised my boy one thing, lots of riches, and that man broke my promise. And I tried every tincture and etc. there is, and all I really needed was the blood of a young boy." And, "Okay, Mr. Burns, what's your first name?" is super dependent on pausing just the right amount of time before the punchline. That, I think, shows a growing trust between the writers and actors, a recognition by the writers that they were working with incredible actors and producers. Or maybe it's just a bunch of stuff that happened, I don't know for sure. But there is one thing this episode did almost pioneer: Homer talking to his brain. That's a gag that I believe has only previously shown up in Lisa's Substitute, and this particular iteration of that gag, where his brain tells him not to say the thing, but he says the thing anyways, gets directly reused at least once. The example I can think of is from Brother from the Same Planet in Season 4, and it's easily a strong enough gag to hold up to reuse. And then there's the ending, where the family debates what the moral of the story is, or if there even is a moral. This early on, the show wasn't that into these kinds of nods to the audience, this kind of self-awareness and self-consciousness. But quite interestingly, it just ended on a similar nod to the audience in the last episode too. These most certainly aren't fourth wall breaks, but they're in a similar vein, and the ending of this episode is, in my opinion, the most blatant nod to the audience the show had done to date. This paved the way for things like the endings of Homer Loves Flanders in Season 5 and Bart vs. Lisa vs. the Third Grade in Season 14, to name but a couple examples. So it's time to rate this one, and I'm giving it an A+. We're not breaking new ground or setting new standards or anything, but this one is a real good time. And now we shall look at the plot. While I'm not the biggest fan of Homer and Marge pressuring Bart into giving blood, I do find it amusing that Otto is the technician who draws Bart's blood. But I'm extremely squeamish when it comes to blood and a lot of body horror kind of stuff, so I'm just gonna move on from that. And one thing I like about this plot is that it's a lot more willing to jump around from place to place than most Season 2 episodes. This is a more lively and fast-paced plot than is typical of this time period, too. These things certainly work in the episode's favor, especially as this is most certainly a humor-driven episode. So the plot's first objective is to stay out of the humor's way, and a faster plot pace generally allows for more comedic moments. The episode goes for a bit of drama at a few moments, such as the initial reveal of Mr. Burns' hypohemia and the segment where Burns tries to have Homer beaten. And these work just fine, but it's also not particularly compelling on its own because of how humor-driven the episode is. The overall tone of the episode is never dreary. Most everything gets played for laughs rather than a character journey or any kind of message or anything. And when the laughs are as good as they are in this episode, I'm totally happy with that. It's a perfectly cromulent plot, and I'm happy to give it an A+. The plot knows it's not the star of the show, and it puts 100% into being the supporting player because that's what the episode needs. I have a couple sourceless Wikipedia claims to examine real quick before we wrap things up. My, how I love sourceless claims on Wikipedia. According to this one, the episode was completed behind schedule, which led to it airing about 2 months after the previous episode. And according to this one, though George Meyer is credited as the episode's writer, Al Jean and Mike Reiss did some significant overhauling on the script. It'd sure be nice if people cited their sources on stuff like this. If anyone knows anything about where this info is coming from, please update Wikipedia, and maybe also comment on this video, please, thanks. But now for the final rating. We have an A+ for humor and an A+ for plot. That's an easy A+ overall. This is a great one. Even with how uncomfortable the blood draw and transfusion make me, I love this episode, and even if it did come out late, it makes for an excellent conclusion to Season 2. Thanks for watching. I'm pretty excited to be just about done with Season 2, just the recap coming up next. If you enjoyed this video, I ask that you please hit the like button, and if you want to see more, why not subscribe to the channel? Like I said, the season recap is next, so I will see you in that video.